This week on the Slaptail Squad, the Beefman asks possibly the most ridiculous scenario based question yet. What if God chose you to be the next prophet? Get ready for some equally ridiculous answers because this is the Slaptail Squad, so let's get slapping.
Slaptail Squad, assemble.
If you're listening to this, you're a member of the great Slaptail Nation, my nation. And who am I? Well, if you don't know that by now, clearly you are a new listener or you're just not paying attention. I'm the Beeve Man, master of the universe, creator of all things great and small, and high commander of the great Slaptail Nation army. And with me today from the Uniden, looking like a slightly sparsely bald yet stubbly giant penis, is my number two, the Rons.
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't say the Swan. Hey, B-Man, how's it going?
It's going well. Thank you very much, Rons, for your stubbly appearance.
And before we go any further, I am truly once again humbled, not only by you, but your generosity. And I didn't realize what you did, and that was the gift. So I'll fill in the blanks later, but we'll get to the Swan here. But thank you from the bottom of my heart, if I had one nowadays.
All right. Well, thank you for being so mushy right at the beginning of the Slaptail Squad. Also with us today is the Swan. Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
Bloody brilliant.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Bloody brilliant. Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up, Rons, because...
What kind of face are you making, Ron G? You look like a smashed potato.
He kind of does.
He does, yeah.
He kind of does.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought that up, Rons, actually, because I was pretty pissed.
Why?
Why? Because your surprise was ruined. That was...
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Knowing that you...
Why don't you explain the situation then? Why don't you tell us what the situation was? It has recently been your birthday. You are now a year older.
I am, and I appreciate that you've recognized that. Well, I knew that you and Swan were going to get me something. To what it was, I don't know. And actually, I hadn't expected anything from you and this one other than, your generosity of your friendship. I mean, anybody who knows you, that if you... Oh, I'm sorry. Are you gagging?
Yeah, I am.
All right. Well, let him zip up first.
Ew.
So anyway, hey-o!
No. Making it creepy already. Okay.
Anyway, you're throughout the years that I've known you, since we've been doing this, your generosity from you and your family have been nothing less short of spectacular. So I thought I wasn't expecting anything, or if it was, I didn't know what it was, right? And it being the holidays or the summertime, I don't expect much. I really don't. I just expect your friendship, and that's it.
Jesus, can you explain the situation?
Jeez.
I just did. I went to the dojo where, I practiced, and there was a dogi waiting for me. Now, honestly, I thought, because I had actually ordered 2 other dogis already on top of that I was getting that one included. Little Powder Donut didn't tell me a damn thing until you showed up. No one did.
Because she didn't know.
Yes, she did.
Okay. So let me get this straight. So you had already ordered yourself a dogi?
I was in the process of doing that.
Okay, now I'm confused.
Yes.
You said you had already ordered 2 dogis.
Yes, I was in the process of ordering. Okay, so this is how it went down.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
want
I'm so confused right now.
Okay, so anyway, I needed a new dogi. Little Powder Donut, I asked, go ahead and place an order. And someone approached her saying, don't worry about Ron's. It's already been taken care of. Right? And they revealed who it was. But she was under strict orders not to tell me anything. And she didn't. So I thought I had ordered my dogi already.
So you have Alzheimer's so badly that you thought that you had already ordered your dogi.
Well,
you're like, you just didn't remember.
So you thought that was the one that you ordered coming in. Okay.
Exactly.
But you
No
said,
one told me anything.
But you didn't. But you said you didn't order it.
You said you
No,
were.
I told. No, I said Little Pounder Donut ordered it for me. I'm sorry if I left that out. Probably. No, yeah, you're right. Alzheimer's is
So
just a pain in the
confusing.
ass. Anyway, I thought she ordered 3 doggies, one for me, one for the boy, and one for her.
Okay, so
And someone
even
said,
still, yours should not have been given to you. It should have been given to the beef man to give to you as a gift. There's where the scenario
I didn't
is.
know anything about this, honestly.
Okay, well, we're
And,
not
you know,
blaming
then-
Yeah,
you.
but we're not blaming you. That's the whole point. That's why I
Alright.
said I was mad, not at you.
Okay.
We're mad at he's mad at the middleman who ruined the entire surprise.
Ruined.
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 Yes.
I get it. I understand. But when I found out it came from you, I was just, I didn't know what to say. I really did.
How
I mean, I
about
was-
why wasn't it given to me by you? That what's really, this is what I'm saying. This is why I'm miffed, because they already knew that it was a surprise for you, and I said
Because the other 2 doggies came in at the same time and Carrie picked them up. Right? Little Powder Donut picked up everything all at once.
So
when I
she
came in-
ruined the surprise?
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong.
No,
But-
I didn't know who. I'm not. I think we were mad at the hierarchy, biggest head person
Yeah,
that
okay, I
gave
get
it
it. I
away.
get it.
That gave it
I get
to
it.
you.
But that was probably my fault for saying, "Oh, the doggies are in. We need to get them altered." Right? That's for intercepting.
So you
No.
ruined your own surprise, maybe.
Maybe.
ugh.
I guess so.
Either way,
You
it's
know
not
me.
good.
No, I understand. I mean, by being kept out of the loop because it was a surprise, I basically, I don't think I ruined it. I mean, I was more than humbled when I got it, so I appreciate it. Right?
So
And I
you
will-
so let me get this straight. So you just dropped. Well, this is the most money I think I've heard of Ron spending. So you just dropped $300 on doggies.
We have to have embroidered doggies as census.
Yeah, that's the.
I'm just saying that's a lot. I can't believe you just dropped that much money on doggies.
Have you seen my doggie the way that it looks?
Yeah, it's a piece of
Yeah.
shit. That's why I got you
I
a
appreciate it.
doggie for your
However,
birthday.
No. Don't get me wrong. There's a way to whiten it, right? Completely. But unfortunately, if I do that, it strips the color out of the embroidery.
Ron, when you tried to stab me with a knife and I grabbed your shoulder, it ripped a hole in your doggie.
No. That was a gift from the Beeve Man. And I will gladly go to the grave telling everybody this is where he touched me.
Ew.
Well, anyway, sorry that your surprise was ruined. What a
It
crazy
wasn't-
coincidence that they were going to order doggies at the same time.
Yeah, that just seems a little bit interesting.
No, I was.
I know. I'm just
honestly
saying
was.
that's just what a crazy universal coincidence. What a crazy way the universe.
And
has
honestly,
spoken.
the surprise was never lost on me because when it came from you, it made it that much more special.
You're like,
So
when I got the
appreciate
bill and I didn't have to pay the full price, I was like, oh, okay.
So I appreciate it. I really
That's
do.
not a surprise.
Oh, all right.
Well,
All right.
whatever.
And somewhere along the lines, I'm going to probably give it to you so you can autograph the tag on it. So, it'd be so cool.
Well, it took away my fun. That's all I'm saying.
No, it shouldn't.
But-
It's something every time I
Wait,
wear that.
You're telling
when
him
someone-
how he feels about his gift. You're telling him that it doesn't ruin his gift giving experience.
Considering this is something we've planned for months.
I appreciate
doing-
it. I really do. Well,
Whatever.
if anybody ever touches that doggie, it's like I can say, you get to touch a part of the Beeve Man and the
That's
Swan.
gross.
You're making it creepy and yucky.
Why are you being so gross?
Making it
What's wrong with you?
cringy.
Why do you have to do that? Anyway,
Anyway,
whatever.
whatever. I appreciate it.
Enjoy
more
your
than you'll
gift.
ever know.
Whatever. I'm glad you won't be wearing that dish rag colored doggie anymore.
I have to actually a little bit longer so I can get it.
Right.
tailored.
Just get it. Whatever. Get your thing tailored. Wow, how fancy are you? You get your stuff tailored too.
Yeah, well, it's too big. I mean, actually, I wear a 5. I don't know what size you wear.
I wear a 4. And why do you wear a 5? Unless your karate doggies are totally sized differently. 5 is huge.
I can't wear a 4. That's what Little Powder Donut and the boy wear.
Uh-huh.
But you're what, 5'8"?
I'm 5'9". We've had this discussion a million times.
Once again, Alzheimer.
Okay.
Let's not pick on me.
No,
He
I
doesn't
wear
even
a
know his
4.
own
I can
shoe
wear a
size.
3. I can wear a 3.
I feel like your judo ones are different though. They're like bigger. The pants are bigger
Yeah.
and everything too.
Anyway,
so.
whatever. Anyway, not important.
Anyway.
Not important.
So thank you.
Yeah,
Moving
you're
on.
welcome. Yeah, moving on. Moving on. Anyway, so I was watching this show on Netflix. It's kind of cute. It's not that funny. It's whatever. Uh, but it's called God's Favorite Idiot.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was watching. I was like, what a great question, because I was thinking about this. I was putting myself in the shoes of the star. So basically, the star is chosen by God to be the next to spread the word of God.
A couple of movies on that already.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so it's a TV
Anyway.
show. Anyway, so I was like, well, that would be fun. What if God chose one of us to be the next prophet? What kind of barriers would we have to jump through? What would we want from God in the first place in order to accomplish this task? I thought this would be a fun discussion to have just for fun. Just for fun. One, who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? What do you think?
I think Ross wants to go first.
Okay,
I
but
do.
if
Okay.
but if he
I
just
mean, he's
but if
way
he
more
just
religious
has
than I am because his sibling is very involved in the church. So that makes him way more religious than I am.
Oh, I am by far not.
okay, except you don't have to take this to a serious religious
I know.
aspect.
I
Well,
was
that's the
just
whole point. Is
kidding.
it's a goofy concept.
Yeah, I
Well, if
wouldn't want
anything,
that.
I would like a better parking spot wherever I go. Right? I would just like a decent parking spot. That way, I don't have to park farther away without the hassle of someone trying to hit my car by mistake.
So
Okay,
he's
maybe
already
I should go
taking his
first.
power to the.
I probably should go first
You probably should
because
go
I
first
should
then.
probably just go first.
Yeah, you should.
Why don't you go first?
Okay, let's clarify some things first of all. If let's say God reaches out to the Beeve Man and says, "Hey, you are the next prophet to bring about the change to save the human
Now,
race."
would he touch you in a special way?
No,
Okay.
and you just said he, so I don't know that I believe God is a he in the first place. I think it's an it.
Okay.
I like to think it's a dog. Anyway, let's say this dog approaches me, who is God, and says, I've chosen you to save the earth, to save the universe, to be my representative on earth. I would do this. I would say, look here, God, I'm going to need a few things. I'm going to need some things in order for me to accomplish this task of yours. Because I don't think that the regular human population is just going to listen to the Beeve Man as he is now. And the reason why I say that, obviously, is because I don't have a world famous podcast and I'm not making tons of money. So there's some things that have to change in order for me to accomplish this task. Now, I'm willing to take on this task, but I need some things in order for me to do it.
Okay.
And they would be?
Number one, I got to be the strongest person on the planet. Got to be the strongest person on the planet.
As a curiosity, why?
Well, I think that. Thank you for that question, Rons.
Like physically or mentally or both?
Ooh.
Yeah, I've got to be the epitome of everything. I've got to be superhuman. Got to be superhuman. I have to be super handsome. I have to be an acceptable height. I'm thinking 6'2" is probably good.
So you have to be arrogant.
No, I
didn't
have
say
to be.
that.
I have to be the
Yet.
appealing figure for all people.
Arrogant.
Yeah, okay. In other words, I have to be able to influence people, Rons. I can't influence people as a tiny brown man.
I don't know. There's a lot of cult leaders that
I-
influence
yeah,
people
and
that
I
are
gotta
not.
agree.
You guys aren't listening.
Look at Jesus. How tall was he? And he was possibly Middle Eastern, and he was a tiny brown
First
man.
of all, he wasn't possibly Middle Eastern. He was Middle Eastern because
Okay.
that's where Jerusalem, Judea, all those things are in the Middle East. So clearly he was
Okay.
not an Anglo-Saxon man. Anyway, no, my point is you have to be desirable to all people in order for them to listen to you. So in other words, how I look and how I'm perceived might change from person to person. This is what I'm asking for me personally. So in other words, if the swan looks at me, she might see something like whatever her favorite thing to eat is.
Yes.
What are the thing that makes you happiest? For me personally, I'm like, okay, I need to be physically strong because I'm going to be attacked. I have to have like that matrix programming. Like I can do any martial art move. I can be a master of all weaponry, to be able to defend myself when the inevitable attacks come. Also, they use this same trope in a lot of them. Like, did you ever see the movie Michael with John Travolta where he was the Archangel Mike?
I figured you might be going there.
Anyway, he has this thing where people are like, oh, he smells like chocolate chip cookies, or he smells like this, or he smells like. I want to be able to smell like whatever makes people happy whenever I'm around. Okay. They do that same kind of thing in this TV show. I'm like, I think that's a good one. So what you were doing is you're basically bombarding every sense so that you can manipulate people's minds. And I know it's terrible that I'm saying manipulate, but this is how you would have to do it in order to save the human race, in order for people to listen to you. You can be the smartest person on the planet, but if you're obnoxious and an asshole and nobody can stand you, they don't listen to you. So, if you have multiple things going for you, then you're more likely to be able to influence people. Also, I need to be able to have some powers. You know what I mean? So if somebody says, I don't believe that you're the messenger of God, what can you do? I want to be able to do that sweet ass shit that Jesus did by like turning water into wine and all that other cool stuff. If I can't do anything, nobody's going to believe me.
All right. I was thinking basically you're going to be a moonshiner at that point.
So when you try to be funny.
I know.
When you try to be funny.
When I try to be.
What the shit was that? Anyway, that's what I'm saying. It has to be done. I got to have some powers. I got to be super strong. Let's just make me bulletproof. Just make me invincible. And I'm not about to die for no reason. I'm not about to get crucified like Jeebus did. I'm not doing that. Not going to happen. Ronz, is that your vibrator?
No, it's my freaking neighbor using his chainsaw.
Aha. I see. The chainsaw.
Yeah.
So are you kind of getting what I'm saying? This is what I would do if I was the prophet. And I don't think that I need to know scripture or anything like that. If some Bible thumper approaches me and starts talking doctrine to me, I should have this programming in my brain on how to respond to them, how God wants me to respond in the first place.
Are you going to go by the prophet?
I'm going to go by whatever he says. Okay. Or whatever the dog says.
Or whatever you want him to go by. If you're going on his theory of he's going to smell like and look like and whatever. So if you want to call him the prophet, feel free, Ronz.
Yeah. Kind of like when somebody asked Jesus that in the Bible, what we paraphrase, but he said, "I am what you say I am." There you go. Easy answer.
Ah, very good. Very good.
So basically, you're just saying you want to be like one of those, what do you call those people? Like fortune teller, like that give the answers that everybody wants to hear?
No, I don't think I said that at all.
No.
No, I literally didn't say I wanted to be a fortune teller.
I didn't mean it like that. Just like how you can manipulate people.
No, I don't want to give them the answer that they want to hear if it's not the correct answer, Swan.
Oh.
So a politician.
No, I don't want to. No, that's not what I'm doing.
He doesn't want to talk out of both sides of his ass.
No, I want to say the truth.
He wants to give what the dog wants. He wants to do what the dog wants him to do.
Ooh.
You two might be the two dumbest people ever spoken. I can't believe that this. No, you're doing exactly what I was hoping for. Was you would be fucking ignorant as hell, and you both are. I can't believe you can't. I can't believe you can't follow this whole fantasy line of questioning.
Here's a choice of ironic words for us. I get your dogma. I really do.
Oh.
Yeah, I get it. So, but instead of, you want me to take it seriously, then you say, "Oh, this is a funny podcast. Don't take it seriously." So I'm not taking it seriously. I'm poking holes in it. But if I were to take it seriously, you would appeal to everybody at any given time on any level.
Yeah, but I'm not going to. Yeah, but not lying and all that other shit.
No, I never said you were.
No, you said a politician. That's not what politicians are.
So
I was trying to be funny, but you're right. You would be the average person, and the answers that they may not want to hear, you would give them.
Right.
Whether they like it or not.
But then how would you get your skeptical people to follow you if you're not?
By my actions and by my what I do,
card tricks.
What I can do. Yeah.
Yeah, like Oh God, when he comes into the jury, he says, "Here's a favorite, pick a card." He does a card trick. You never saw that?
No, I don't think so.
You do realize you're referencing something that came out in the early 70s.
Yeah, I wasn't even
late
born
70s.
Then.
And when it came out, we would have been children, and most people don't even know who George Burns is.
No, but you do, because I didn't mention the actor.
Yeah, but I'm older. So anyway.
And if you were chosen by God, you would be able to transcend time and space anyway.
Maybe. Sure. Why not?
I mean, if you're bulletproof and have superpowers, why wouldn't you be able to do that too?
I said, sure, why not?
Okay, I'm just agreeing with you.
I would ask the dog why on earth they would have picked me, because picking me would make no sense.
But maybe that's why he picked you,
Sure.
because you're humble and you didn't think he would pick you.
No, I don't think I'm humble. No,
okay.
no, but it's just a ridiculous question.
Prior
But
to
you
being picked?
also have to remember too that here's the problem is, if I was picked, I would be like, I really figured I would get picked by the other team.
Mm-hmm.
Because of, I do find the other team to be hotter
Uh-huh.
than the good team, I guess. Just the idea is a wee bit hotter, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But would you be skeptical if you were picked? Or would you just go in like, yep, I am all trusting? Like, or would you think you were being manipulated too?
I mean, by the devil?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Actually, that is probably what I would think, honestly. Because there would be no reason for the dog to pick me.
Yeah. I mean, because that's what I would think of it. Like, ooh, what kind of trick is this? What kind of, yeah. I don't think I would accept it. I would be very not acceptable.
Rons, let's get your mindless old man ramblings on this. If you were picked.
Honestly, the thought of having powers like that's mind-boggling. I don't know if I would be humble enough not to abuse it.
Well, I mean, you don't have to take the powers. I just said what I would do. I was just asking
No, I would
if you were
take them.
picked.
I just didn't know if I would abuse them.
Well, I didn't say you get to take mine. No, you get to pick your own.
I didn't say I was going to take yours either.
So what powers do you think you're going to have?
Oh, the gift of insight.
Oh, sorry. For a second there, I thought he was going to go somewhere else.
That started with ins.
Yeah. This is not great. This is not how we want that to go.
I would also I would ask for understanding, a lot more patience than what I have. Because if I have the gift of insight, you would need patience to have that. And the ability to make people calm in my presence versus having them come at you when you're angry. Because most likely, if you're going to be chosen as a prophet of God, people are going to be angry at you. They're going to come at you left and right. So you are not the one true one. I would like them to be ever calm in my presence, right? And then the gift of insight and understanding and infinite patience.
Uh-huh.
That and the ability to look them straight in the eye going, have you listened to the podcast that the B-Man puts out? You'll find a lot of useful and useless information out there. Because the prophet also has a sidekick, if you will, right? So you haven't mentioned a sidekick.
So you just called me your sidekick?
No, but I would like to have someone who.
Yeah, but you just said the prophet has a sidekick.
Yes, I did.
So you just called me. You're again in this scenario. This is so confusing. Why are you so confused? In this scenario, you Rons, you are the prophet.
Okay.
Messiah, savior, whatever you want to call yourself.
Messiah? I thought you were going to say, must I save your ass every time? It's one of those things where I've often thought about it, actually.
So you've often thought about being chosen as the savior of the universe?
Having omnipotent power.
Uh-huh.
Because if you could be God.
So you like to think about things that are not possible.
Why not?
Okay, sure. I mean, sure, why not? That's fun. Sure.
So if I could be God, I would like to be omnipotent for at least, I don't know, a month.
I don't know. What if God was one of us?
And I was going to go with there too, but that was the obvious.
Just a slob.
But it's
like one of us.
But it's sort of like the what is it? Jim Carrey started the movie, and he was omnipotent for a week, and look how things got messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, what could I do not to mess up?
Okay, but here, all right. So, but I think in my scenario, I'm kind of not doing this blind. In other words, it's not like
you have guidance from.
I've got guidance from the dog, all the steps of the way, as opposed to sporadically like Jesus had it.
I would like to take every major head of every religion and ask them what the fuck do they think they're doing. Right? It doesn't matter what they believe in, because you've got your fanaticism on one side and your passive on the other. And I'd like to figure out what the fanaticisms are thinking to drive people insane.
Yeah, but I guess you don't have to ask them any questions.
Yeah, you do.
Why? I'm just curious.
Because
Why
they'll
do you need
never
to
tell
ask them
you.
any questions? Why do you have to ask them any questions?
Well, because they'll blindly follow, they blindly want those passive people to not question and follow them. They really do.
Right, but why are you asking them any questions? You don't need them for anything.
Because
they
I'd
should
like
be
to
coming
see-
to you. Why? I mean, you're all of a sudden you're going to put them.
Because I would like to hear the truth from them right away. Straight from them versus, well, get back with us and get back with me, prophet one, if that's what you want to call it, and we'll give you an answer. I'm like, no.
But you don't need to go to them. That's why I keep saying, I'm like, why do you feel like you need to go to them?
I see your point. I really do. Or I should say I hear your point, but I would like to hear it from them. I know the answer already. I would like to see if they're willing to tell me the truth.
I'm so confused right now.
So
could you please interpret? Could you interpret what Ron's is saying, Swan? Because I don't know what he's saying.
Well, it's sort of like why you get pulled over for speeding.
Swan, could you interpret what Ron's is saying? Because I'm very confused about what he's saying.
I feel like he doesn't understand that he is the prophet at this point, because he's just kind of going to take polls from other religions to see what they think is important, but he wants to make his own importance. So he's trying to learn from them or see their points to see if they're valid or not. Why do you need to know?
Because I want to see if they believe in what they believe in.
But if you're trying to get them to believe in what you believe in, then why do you care about what they believe in?
No, I get it. I get it.
I already know the answer. Right now, I'm so confused right now.
No, I already know the answer. I'm wondering if they're willing to confess.
So you're like trying to do a pop quiz on them to see what they're... I can answer that question for you.
What is that answer?
It's all about money. That's really all. Do you think really most of them believe in the shit that they say? I mean, if that was the case, look at all the money that religions get. Look at all the tax breaks that they get. Jesus didn't have a church. Jesus smashed the temple. So we don't even need organized religious buildings and all that other stuff. We don't need to pay tithes and all that other crap. It's all garbage.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Like, why, especially having COVID and people haven't been in physical church forever. I mean, now they are, but where did all that money go that whole time? They survived without it when there was no church.
Yeah. And I mean, were they giving money to the congregation that was struggling?
I don't know. Yeah, probably not.
Seriously doubt it.
Yeah.
Seriously doubt it.
Probably not. I'm going to go with no on that one.
I think
those people I know for a fact were still paying their tidings or whatever you call it. So you're not even in doing your job and you're getting paid to do nothing. Yeah.
I mean, isn't the church supposed to give money to the poor?
Yeah, I think so.
Instead of just pad the treasury.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I was just saying I don't see why you have to gather them up. They can come to you. If you're spreading the word, people will flock to you for answers.
I agree. But I would like to hear the answers that I already know in their own words to see if they are committed to that answer.
Yeah, but aren't those people like a tiny drop in the bucket when you think about it? You're going to seek out those tiny little, say, 12 places where you could spread the word to thousands your way. Why do you care about those people?
I think I was saying this, that they're going to come to you.
Yeah.
They're going to come to you because they're going to be mad and they're going to challenge you and say that you're not the prophet anyway. Because why should you get to be that? Why are you the... If Jesus came back, I hate to be, just paraphrasing the Bible all the time, but if Jesus came back, we wouldn't believe him. And that's predicted also in the Bible that when he returns, no one's going to believe it's him.
So he could have been here like many, many times.
Sure.
People don't even.
Why not? Yeah. Nobody's going to believe especially in our type of society. Nobody's going to believe the Christ comes back.
Ron's would. He would be.
Well, he's not supposed to believe that because he's Jewish.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, right? What if you're of another religion or another belief, and you don't believe.
Well, God doesn't care. See, that's the thing, right? God doesn't care what religion you are.
The dog loves
No.
you no
The
matter
dog
what.
loves you no matter what. Doesn't matter what you, if you were alive, 16,000 years ago, and you believed a rock was God. Well, you were right. It is God. There's only that one supreme being that created all life, if you believe in that. And so everybody worships the same entity. They just call it different things.
Ah.
That's what. Yeah.
Well, no, that changes the perspective of a lot of things, but not everybody thinks like that.
Well, of course not. But that's why the dog is here, to tell them that it doesn't matter, that they're all right, is what the dog is saying. You're all right, but it's me. I'm this furry beast over here. This is the actual one.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
And even then, I suppose that the dog could appear to you any way you want them to appear. I just think that God is a dog, so that's how it appeared to me.
Ron's is more of a cat person.
Well, no, I understand.
Yeah,
that.
Ron's, yours is just a little cucumber popping up.
Exactly.
I appreciate that. So I guess the main question is, as you progress in this belief, how do you get people to take you seriously then?
Well, that's
feel
your
like
part of
that's
it. That's what you say that you're going to do.
Yeah. So if you were going with the Beefman's theory, they're going to come to him because they see him as a chocolate chip cookie or whatever, or a dog or whatever they want. So they'll be seeking him out. He doesn't need to go out and do like you do and recruit people, apparently.
Okay, so I get that. But I should say, however, how does one spread the word? I mean, what's the one thing that's going to cause that trickle effect or that ripple effect that brings them right to you?
Well, it's going to be different for everybody.
Well, no, I get that, but you're going to be out. Let's say you're out in the middle of the desert and the dog approaches you, and you're the chosen one. Nobody's out there. How do they come to you? How do they find you? How do you go to them? What happens then? So that's the key.
Well, I'm sure it'll be actually pretty easy because this isn't millennia.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people roaming the deserts.
No, this isn't millennia ago. I don't live in the desert. Why would I just be out in the middle of the desert?
I mean, he has a cell phone and he can like share a couple things, and then his friends will share some things, and then
so there's that ripple effect. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. I don't live in the middle of the desert. So even if I met God in the middle of the desert, I'm not going to stay in the middle of the desert. I'm going to have people like, oh, look at this cool shit that I can do. And all that shit goes viral, and then people seek me out.
Okay, so there we go. We have a ripple effect. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, like I said, this isn't 3 millennia ago.
Yeah, how was it done 3 millennia ago then?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah. So same thing.
Social network.
Word of mouth, only it travels a lot faster now because of social media.
And who knows? Maybe social media was a camel and some paper.
Except camels don't talk, but okay.
And there was no paper back then. It was a tablet. Poor camel had to carry that tablet.
So what would you do?
I would not accept this job. Like, I'm too skeptical. I mean, I guess I would accept it, maybe, but only for power. Like, I would want to be a cult leader instead. I would take it completely
you're already
bad.
A cult leader,
I guess. I mean, but I wouldn't. I think I'm way too skeptical from childhood on that I wouldn't think they would choose me to begin with, and I would do the opposite of trying to get.
Okay, well, let's just say this: if God came to you,
Uh-huh.
in whatever form you expect God to be in,
Uh-huh.
I don't think that you would be able to refuse, because God can just change your mind. God can just say, you're the chosen one. No. I think that if you were the chosen one, you would have this level of enlightenment that no other being would ever have. So in other words, you would just know that was actually...
So then I would fall under that, like, pyramid scheme of needing to spread my word and do my thing, and I guess I'd be just right in there.
Well, this is not about spreading a religion. This is about actually saving the universe. So you're taking one thing, but you're not listening to the initial thing that I said.
Okay, to save the universe.
You are saving the universe from destruction. It's not about having a religion. That's not what this is about. Okay. This is basically this is why I like the show, which is cute about the show. The reason why he was chosen was because Lucifer, Satan, whatever, is now attacking God in heaven again. But this time he's basically winning. And so they
Okay.
chose him to help, essentially. And I'm like, yeah, I like that idea. So basically that's what it is. It's you're trying to save the universe. So in other words, instead of the coming of the all-encompassing darkness and Lucifer taking over and being the almighty, you're helping the other side. You're trying to keep that from happening. So you're trying to save the universe from eternal darkness.
So
It's not about spreading a religion. That's not what we're doing.
Okay, so we're going with can't we all get along? Like I want the world to get along and be peaceful and all happy and not have
Well, and we
war
have to
or
open up a
other-
can of whoop ass on the demons of hell too.
Okay.
You know, that's kind of important.
So I guess
What is
then
it?
I would sell that. I'd sell that like that. So whoever wants to open up a can of whoop ass, you join this group. Whoever wants to plant trees and
How about the group that speaks into the microphone?
I
Did you
am
join that
speaking
group?
into the microphone. I want to be one of those. I can do whatever I want. I'm the dog. If I don't want to speak into the microphone, I don't have to. But you'll listen anyway. How about that? No.
This kind of reminds me of the show Good Omens. Have you ever saw that? Did you ever see that?
I saw a couple episodes.
Yeah, it's because there's this eternal war, but no one sees God. No one ever sees the devil, right? And the second, it's this what is it? The coming of Lucifer, but Lucifer or the devil, but the demon child gets switched at birth to a regular couple, and it's hilarious. And no one knows it. Not even heaven.
Thanks
Not
for that
even
segue. Thanks for that excellent segue, Ron. Is there any other show that you would like to tell us about?
Well, basically, you're telling us about that show. So
Because I keep trying to get you guys to understand the premise of why you were chosen in the first place.
yeah, okay. Well, I like being chosen. But anyway,
You're touched, that's for sure.
yeah, we're touched. So yeah, I get it.
Hey there, members of the Great Slaptail Nation. It's me, the Beeb Man, and I'm here to deliver you a message from beyond the stars about our sponsor for this episode, Swiss Navy. No matter who you love or how you love, Swiss Navy products set the bar for sexual enhancement. There's more glide, more comfort, and even products for longer lasting pleasure. Swiss Navy has a wide range of premium products to choose from for whatever amount fills your hole, if you know what I mean. My favorite product is Swiss Navy's Silicone Lube. Get it, use it, love it, and never be dry again. Once again, that's Swiss Navy at SwissNavy.com. And in your order comments, let them know the Slaptail Squad sent you. Swiss Navy, no matter who you love or how you love. Adios, mooch fuckos. I guess what shocks me is I thought you guys would be a lot funnier on this thing.
Well,
It's a totally ridiculous question, yet you guys are making it all serious. I'm like, oh.
Well, every time I take it, in a
One,
whole
I wouldn't
direction-
believe it. So
no.
I'm just not going to
every
do
time I
it.
take a whole in a different direction, you're trying too hard to be funny. You're right, I am.
Yeah, you are
Because
trying to
I've-
be funny. Just let it
You're,
flow.
you know what? I'm not going to argue with you on that. However, I have seen both sides of the coin. I've seen people who have said they've spoken to God directly, right, from whatever device, animal, whatever, and gone completely crazy. We've seen cult members just crazy, right? So I don't want to
Can you
give too
tell
much
us about
validation
a
to this.
conversation with one of these people that you've
Yes,
had?
I'm very
wanna-
interested
Now
also.
I'm interested. Like, tell me a story.
Yeah, tell us a story about somebody who spoke to God.
Yeah.
Don't take too long though.
No,
Don't
no,
take too long.
I
You
don't
said
want
you-
to name
Didn't
names.
you say
don't
this
have
is?
to
You know,
name
nobody
names. You
said
can
name
just give a
names.
Scenario.
You can't
Oh, you
just
want a
drop.
scenario?
You
Well,
can't just
er-
drop a bomb and then be like, yeah,
okay.
not really saying anything.
All right, no. I've got someone, right? I was working at another place a long time ago, and this guy says, "Hey, Ron, have you ever met Jesus?" And I'm like,
Yes,
"What do you mean?"
I've met lots of Jesuses.
One night I was high and I met Jesus, and I'm like,
Okay.
"Okay, you're special.
That's it.
That's the story.
What more do you want? Do you want this come to what am I supposed to say? I didn't take him seriously because
I mean,
didn't
but
believe
you
him?
made it out to be like a way more
Yeah, like-
interesting story than as somebody said, "Hey, I got
No,
high
no,
and
you
met
wanted
Jesus."
me to tell the story. I didn't have an interesting story on this.
But didn't
I
it
did.
seem like
I
he
didn't
had
have
an
an
interesting
interesting
story?
about it.
I've talked to people who said they've met Jesus. Not like I was stoned off my ass and like I was so fucking high, man. I saw Jesus.
And I've
No,
seen the fanaticism built into these people who believe in Jesus, which is okay for them. But there's too much of it out there in the world. And you know what? Fuck them. I'm not really into that. I don't care if you believe in a dog talking to you, as long as you're fucking happy, not hurting anybody.
Okay,
I
great.
really don't care.
I just thought it was going to be a way more interesting story. The way you built it up, I was like, this is fascinating. Let's
Well,
hear
I
about
try
Ron's
to let
telling
it-
about
you
a
know what?
story
No,
about
no,
somebody
no,
who
I
said that
try
they
to
spoke
let
to
it
God.
die. I try to let it die, but the swan goes, okay, tell me more.
Well, because
No,
you
I'm
built it
trying to
so
let it
Yeah.
die.
it's like false advertising. You're like, oh, I have something. You did that on purpose. You're like, I'm going to act because they're not going to want me to tell the story, but I'm going to act like I have a good one.
yeah.
I don't have a good one.
But you made it sound like you did. Like, I know somebody who had a near death experience who said that they did see like the light and they had someone telling them to go back. It's not your time yet. And we're like trying to decipher it as medical people, saying like maybe that was somebody giving you CPR saying, come, come back to us. We want to hear you or whatever. But they had their own, like, that's what they thought was their God spoke to them moment and told them they weren't done on this earth yet. Like, that's a better story than yours, Ron's.
Yeah, geez, Ron's.
Jeez.
I know. Isn't that great? But I don't have a story like that, so I'm sorry.
But don't you have? But you also have the flip side story. Remember you said that you had it the opposite too, who are people who are so fanatically against it. What's that story? Remember you said you had a story for both sides. You're like, I've known people from both, and I've got these great stories to tell. Let me tell you one of my fascinating stories.
You have a
Well,
you have a
And then we
friend
say,
that's a
and then we
die
say,
hard
go ahead and
story.
tell us a story, but
No,
then you
I-
don't
you
have
know,
one.
when you look at it, you've dealt with people who are extremely religious. How do you back down saying, listen, that's not my area, right?
No, you already gave the extremely religious one.
Well,
Where's
no,
the
yeah.
opposite story that you said you had? You said you had more than one story.
Well, I'm once again, you're right. I shouldn't name names, but I just recently
Nobody's saying about naming names.
Yeah, just
We
tell the
just-
story, leave the name out.
I just recently had this discussion with Little Powder Donut, and it was like, people don't let other people talk. They interrupt constantly, so you don't get a formidable thought out. So when you actually try to do it, right, without them
Are
interrupting,
you going to
and
tell us
because
the
it's so-
story of how you got somebody who's so
Don't look it
adamantly
up.
against
It doesn't
religion?
sound normal. So
So you don't have a story.
I thought I did, but apparently I am just so flustered. I am so flustered at this point. So I guess I was a skeptic at one point. I still am. That some guy when I was in the military said, "Hey, brother," I'm like, "I'm not your brother," because he was extremely religious. But I get it. He was actually a kind person. I was the skeptic.
Maybe
Right,
he was
so I-
saying, "Hey, brother," because aren't you all brothers in the military? Like,
No, but that's also a common way of saying hello to somebody in the military too.
Yeah.
Right.
So we say, "What's up, brother?"
Yep,
Brother.
exactly.
No, no
Or
swine.
somebody
say
who's
No, you
religious.
don't do that?
who-
no, you do.
oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't in the
Or say,
military.
what
so I
up,
don't know.
dog?
Yep. What up, dog?
What up, dog? Which is funny. by the
Because
way.
it's
It is.
a dog.
Yeah, it's funny because God is a dog.
Ha ha ha.
Anyway, I think that my idea is great. To always look
Always.
how
Why
people
even
want.
go beyond that?
No,
It is
seriously.
great.
If I looked the way you wanted me to perceive me, if I smelled the way, so yeah, I'm hitting all senses.
So maybe that's what you are to Ron's. Maybe that's why he gravitates to you so much. You are his type.
Whoa. Do you think Tremonde would be kind of jealous?
Okay, so maybe Tremonde is your dog, Ron's.
Yeah, what if God appeared to you and it was Tremonde?
Would you follow? All knowing,
Would I
Tremonde?
follow Tremonde?
blindly.
Well, he
Yeah.
does have a good sense of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
He smells good too.
I wouldn't know that, but and he hugs
Well-
right from what I'm just.
He's a good hugger.
He's a good
Yeah.
hugger. He's a good
Yep.
hugger.
Yeah. And he does translate well. I mean, whatever I say, he says, "Well, this is what you really mean." So his insight's there,
Okay, so
and he's calm.
Tremonde is Ron's dog.
I'm trying to look at it this way. This way I'm looking at it. If let's say that they came to me and God broke it down for me.
Mm-hmm.
My little dog God broke it down for me and said, "This is the deal, babe, man. I need you. The team needs you. And this is why. You got to spread the word. Got to make people believe in me again. That will give me the strength to whoop Lucifer's ass and send his ass packing." I'm like, all right, I'll agree to do it. Here's what I need from you. I need your guidance. I need some superpowers, all this cool stuff. But I want to do some ass whooping myself. I get some ass whooping. I need like a badass sword. I need some cool shit. I need to fight right along St. Michael and kick some serious ass. Those are my stipulations.
I guess you would be allowed to because you get to do whatever you want, right?
Well,
With the guidance of the dog.
With the guidance of the dog. The dog's got to guide me. Yes, absolutely.
Now, would people, if they knew that dog was giving you the information, right, and you knew the dog was God or a higher power, would you let that be known?
Well, I'm not okay. So, but I'm not. I'm not.
You're not claiming the
part
power,
of the.
right?
Yeah, I'm not
You're
part of the
just-
Holy Trinity. I'm not Father, Son, Holy Ghost type thing. I'm just a prophet, Messiah, whatever.
So you would be referencing the dog, like you'd be like, "I'm here
it's
to."
not.
spread
I'm not the
word."
one.
Yeah.
I'm not. Jesus. You know how they said that they took that vote. You know that whole rumor, which is probably substantiated, about how once upon a time the Catholic Church voted to whether or not they would present Jesus as the Son of God or as a human prophet.
No, I don't know this.
And they voted to say, let's make him the Son of God.
Nope. See, I'm not familiar with this, but
No, it's
I
one of
believe
those.
you.
It's one of those great old conspiracy theories that's probably actually true. You know, was he really a man or was he the Son of God? And they.
I feel like he was a man, and it just got.
We're not even talking about that.
Okay,
I'm just
well,
saying. I'm giving you an example.
I
What
was-
I'm saying is, I'm not that person. I am not the part of the Trinity, as in,
Well, what if you
God,
were?
the Son, the Holy Ghost are supposed to be one thing.
Okay, so you're
I'm not part of that. I'm just the
you're just
spokesman on
there
Earth.
to spread the word.
But what if you were the reincarnated person?
No,
or that
I'm
entity?
I'm setting the stage.
The dog is that.
The dog is the God.
So you just want to give the word.
Spreading the word, giving strength to God, so he whoop Lucifer's ass. Lucifer's clearly a cat. by the
However,
way.
to church
Or a
doctrine,
goat.
It's a cat.
to church doctrine, or for that matter, any most religious doctrines, aren't you actually part of the Holy Spirit? So wouldn't you actually be part of that Trinity?
No,
And it's just lying dormant in you, and
no,
the dog just brought it out in you?
no.
That's what. No, I don't.
I mean, only in the respect that we're all children of God. How about that?
Ooh,
Which makes
that
me
would-
no different from somebody else. Once again, I'm just the guy who's spreading the word, who's got some
if you're
badass
one of God's
superpowers.
children, you are directly related to God. Therefore, you would be one of the
and
chosen.
so are you then.
And so are you then. So is everybody else.
Well, he's got a lot of presents I want, right? Making up for a lot of past birthdays.
I think you're thinking of Santa Claus.
I think I am.
I think that's what you're thinking about. I don't think you're thinking about the GOD or the DOG. Yeah,
The big
you know.
G-O single D.
The big DOG. I don't think that's what you're thinking of. I think you're very confused. I'm not sure you even understood the question that I asked, but that's
Probably
okay.
not, knowing me.
But what if the dark side is more fun?
Well, that's also the problem. You might have to tell God that, hey, you do know it's much like the Jedi and the Sith. Like, you do know that this other side seems to be a lot more fun. Is there any way that you could make this side a little bit more fun? That might help a little bit.
I mean, or
So,
maybe he
how-
needs to let you experience the bad side for a little bit so that it's not fun for you. Like, so you know what you're up against
sort of
in
like
a controlled
marriage.
environment. Maybe. No?
So,
I don't know.
what would be the dark side of this entire equation?
Well, it depends, I guess, on the doctrine that you follow. So if you can't do all the fun stuff that it says you can't do in the Bible, as an example, then you're already on the dark side. So maybe if you got to do fun stuff, like, okay, what if my neighbor has a hot wife and I'm like, oh, she's a hot wife. That's a hot wife. That's already violating one of the 10 Commandments. I'm like, why don't you get rid of these lame rules and make it a little bit more fun, and then maybe people wouldn't have to worry about stuff.
Well, before the Ten Commandments came around, that's what they did.
Well, as far as we know, I mean, did the Ten
Did you ever-
Commandments even exist? You know, that sort of thing.
There was a guy who actually opened up, who read the Bible, go figure, and he'd gotten, I think, if I remember the memory correctly, he'd got with several religious leaders and try to follow the tenets of what the Bible said. Like, you can't wear two separate types of material, right? You can't work on a certain day, but you can't work on this day, right? So there were all these controversial things that, should I stone my neighbor for waking up before noon or working on the Sabbath or something, right? And he actually went and talked about that, and it was an interesting outcome versus a modern take on it. So,
does anybody
How
think
would
this
you-
actually happened? And if it happened, how did Ron get this information?
no, I saw
he
a
read
report.
about it in a
I
book.
saw a report. He's like, no, I saw a report
No,
on it.
It was on one of these morning TV shows, or I'd actually
Do you remember
I'll look it
that?
up.
Do you remember that compliment I gave you where you had stopped saying right all the time? Do you remember that compliment I gave you?
You take it
I
back.
do believe you did.
I take it
again,
back. You have said
I know you-
right so many times on this
I
podcast episode.
apologize.
So what happens when I give you any sort of compliment whatsoever? You just
You're
shove it right back
absolutely
in my
okay with
face
that.
and make me look like I'm an idiot.
No more compliments for Ron.
So no more compliments for you
No more.
because
Listen,
it's just completely ridiculous on my
in my
part.
defense, in my simple defense, Your Holiness, I only had a half hour nap in today so far.
Oh boy. Let's hear
So, I
about how
apologize.
much.
I
you don't
apologize
sleep.
for my napping. I apologize.
Yeah, who was that? Jerry Falwell. I apologize, dear Lord, because I didn't get a nap in.
Yeah.
So with that being kind of what Ron said, like all these things that this guy supposedly tried to do, don't you think they should be updated to modern times?
I think that
Just
we
like-
should just look at it like a book
Yeah.
and stop trying to interpret everything off of it.
But you're going to have those people who do that, and I agree with one. Shouldn't we interpret it to a modern setting?
Like
No,
don't
don't think
stone
so.
your
Why-
neighbor. I mean, that probably is like a good idea, but
no. I think we should just look at we're only talking about. We're not even talking about the majority of the religions in the world anyway. There's so many different ones. But we just take the Bible. It just treat it like a book. It's just a guideline for being a good person.
yeah,
It
don't
doesn't
be
mean
an
you have to.
asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to do everything that's in it. It's completely ridiculous. Times change. No, you're not going to do all those ridiculous things. And there's laws for a reason, so you follow the laws. You don't have to follow the Bible like it's
Like it's
total fucking doctrine. It's kind of like if there's like this great monster or this great demon that can't be destroyed by any weapons made by man. I'm like, okay, well that's great. What weapons were made at freaking 10,000 years ago? Pretty sure that I can shoot him in the face. That'll still work. This is when they became a demon. Weapons are a lot different now. Everything's a lot different
But
now.
is the concept different?
No,
So the weapons
if
are
you
different,
can
but
you can only make some sort of an oath for the time that you're in. You can't tell the future.
But the Bible does.
I think they speculate just like we can speculate about the future 200 years from now. But did you think that all the stuff that's real now when you were a kid would be real?
Yes,
no,
I
you
did.
did not.
I'm a big Star Trek fan. Don't you say that. Look at your cell phones, how they flip. They're based on Star Trek and
My cell
intuition.
phone doesn't flip. But
What?
my cell phone
Oh,
doesn't
they-
flip.
Yeah, I bet.
Yours probably
but-
still does.
He-
That's why you don't
still
get our
has that
text
one.
messages.
Yeah.
I don't understand why I don't get these text messages.
Look at the two-way wrist radio. from
Okay,
Dick Tracy.
okay. Now you're getting.
Okay, so the guy's name was A.J. Jacobs. Talks about how he spent living biblically for a year.
The
So,
fuck
yeah,
does that
there's-
mean? He would live biblically for a year. And what religious leaders did he gather? Who gives a shit?
Well, look
Did
it
he
up
talk?
yourself.
So
then.
he talked to the Pope, and he talked to the Orthodox guy and the Episcopalian guy, the heads of all those things.
No, I don't think he talked to just Joe Piscopo. I don't think Joe Piscopo was part of this.
So basically, people probably just thought he was a crackpot. Which,
No, I don't think so.
okay.
Because, as you said, what about literal interpretation, and then how do you adapt it
This
to
is
modern
so
times?
less funny than I thought it was going to be.
Okay, well, make it. Why don't you make
I
it funny?
thought it was
then?
going to be so super
Clearly,
funny.
you're
I
not
thought you
making
guys
it
were going to
funny
talk about
either.
like all the cool powers you would have and all the cool shit you could do and all the things you would do.
Well, you
But
know, you
really,
always
it just
sit
ended
down-
up being so fucking boring.
Well, you know what you talk
I
about.
would never shit again. I would say,
I-
dog, is it okay if I never shit again? Can you just make it sure where I don't have to shit and that I don't have to cook anymore? My meals are just prepared. Boom, out of the way. I'm like,
Why
oh.
would you even need to eat?
I would, and then I would not have to gain because I want to eat. I like that. It's fun. If
I think I would have
Dog-
the power to fly.
dog, I would say, can I just eat an entire bag of Doritos and not feel bad about it and not gain any weight? I would like some cool shit like that. That would help me fight the war against the bad guys.
Ooh, yeah.
That would help me spread the word.
A bag of Doritos.
What if I could sit down and eat like 100 chicken wings and my fingers never got dirty or sticky? I would be totally satisfied, not full and bloated, not eating to the point of illness like the swan does. And they wouldn't be too hot, and they wouldn't be too mild, and they would just be perfect. And again, you would remove that thought process in my head that I have to ever worry about gaining weight. These are things that I would need as the prophet.
How does that help you spread the word of God?
Are you kidding me? A guy who could eat that many chicken wings, he would. First of all, he would win every eating contest, and he would gain notoriety because of that.
Oh.
Second, walking away clean from any, chicken wing eating contest
With the white T-shirt on?
With a white, yeah, there we go, a white T-shirt.
Yeah,
right?
if that doesn't make you a believer, what wouldn't? I mean,
Yeah,
what would?
exactly. Oh my gosh, yes, right? Or oh my dog, yes. That's it. It would be fantastic. On top of that, he could sign autographs, and he would never need to wipe his hands because he'd always be clean.
I don't really think God went around signing autographs.
Oh, you don't? Well,
No.
how much do you know? Let's hear your take.
Nothing. Clearly nothing.
There you go. Because you know nothing.
I
Because
don't.
you're a woman, and
Yeah.
because you know nothing,
Mhm.
right?
Yep. That's it.
So, I think the power of flight would be cool. A booming voice, and I don't know. I always think about looking at people and going,
What? I'm sorry, what? You always think about looking at people.
So he's a
and
creeper.
saying,
There's times when you shouldn't pause.
Dramatic pause.
There was no reason to have a dramatic pause.
That's why everything he says is creepy, because he has like pauses and
Yeah.
commas in the wrong
Yeah,
place.
you pause at the wrong spot. I would
okay,
like
I see.
I would like to have the power of insight.
I get it.
I also would like to I'd like to be able to look at people. I often think about looking at people.
I get it. I get it.
What's
I
the
get
rest
it.
of that sentence? Because it just doesn't start off very well. I mean, what?
And making him tell the truth, right? Just by looking at him. Like if I ask, "Hey, is that light green?" They couldn't lie. No more lying.
I mean, green isn't even a color, right? Isn't that an optical illusion?
I have no idea.
Isn't that something? It's one of those mind blowing things. I don't know.
It could be. Could be.
I don't know. So you just want to be able to look at people.
And have them spout out random true facts to him.
You know how
It's
much
kind of like when he goes places, that's what he does.
I guess, but what's the point of that power, Rons? Is it so that when people are
winning at Trivial Pursuit.
okay? I mean, because otherwise, I'm like, what is the point of that power? Is it that you're going to take the guys who are the people who are speaking out against you, but they have to tell the truth in front of
Well, yeah.
a large crowd instead?
Yeah. So if they're speaking out against me, I could just say, "Listen, time for you to move on," and they would have to listen and do it.
So he's going to judge them like that.
Well, no, I'm not
Moon
going to
Knight,
judge
Oh,
them.
like in
They've
that show,
already
Moon Knight?
judged
Yeah,
themselves.
where if they're not telling the truth, or if they tell bad things, or if they think bad things
That's
in the
not why they
future.
died. That's not what.
Well,
not what that was. It had nothing to do with telling lies.
I know it didn't, but I'm just saying that's what Ron's is going to do.
Oh, I am, huh?
So he's going to hold their hands. He's going to look at them.
Yeah, and make them tell the truth. And then the truth is going to come out Whatever that truth is.
And then they turn into a
No.
big pile of ash.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow, Ron, that doesn't seem like a very godly
No,
thing
it
to
does
do.
not. No, it does not. However, I will refer them to you as a prophet. And I'm like, you seek Beebman and his enlightenment. Go find him.
I'm going to do a Ron's. I often think that I want to touch dramatic
People
pause.
with
Dramatic
your.
people's hearts with my words.
Uh-huh.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
But to,
I get
but to
it.
rephrase that, I often think that I want to touch
People.
people's hearts with my words.
I get it.
I would also like the power of insight. Sight.
Jeez. Yeah, you're right. And I just said that word again.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a different right when you say it in the context of your right versus right at the end of a sentence as a question.
I should follow through with my words.
Use your words, Rons.
Use my words.
Little boy's pants half the time are too short.
You were
No.
making that creepier than it really needs to be.
It's okay. It's okay.
Are you sure it's okay?
Yeah, for now.
I often find that my hand rests at my side. But
Okay, I get it.
On
I
my
get it.
lap. Okay. No.
you don't get it? You
So
get it.
as a prophet, I have to be a lot more
Succinct with
talkative
your words.
and-
You have to, yeah, you probably shouldn't do a lot of those dramatic pauses.
you're right.
I-
You're absolutely
But
right.
on the plus
There
side,
we
what
go.
you should probably ask for is the appropriateness of speech from the dog.
Oh, yeah, I would.
maybe you wouldn't make all those awkward comments. Dear dog, can you please make it where I don't just continuously have awkward comments, awkward pauses,
Cringy moments.
cringy moments? That
I
might be
think you would
helpful.
say, what's wrong with pauses? Because he's got 4 of them.
Oh.
Okay, and probably a better sense of humor and timing.
Yes, that would also be pretty helpful. I would also like to not to have to poop again.
Why is that?
It just wastes too much time.
Probably an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel
But-
like I would still like to be able to eat. I just don't want to
But
poop.
then you would never have that satisfying colon evacuation feeling again.
I'd rather be satisfied with just being able to eat whatever I want without gaining weight and not having to poop.
Oh, okay.
I think that would be pretty sweet.
I mean, I feel like you've talked about a satisfying colon evacuation quite a bit.
Yeah,
so
but
you don't
if
wanna
I didn't have to do that,
then you would be
which
okay
would
with
be,
it.
I would be much better with not having to do that. I mean, let's just say I don't have to eat, period.
but you
I-
feel
But
satisfied.
I can, but it's fun to do.
Okay.
Know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, Rons, thank you so much for joining us and not being very funny. Swan,
Well, wait.
I would
First of
also
all,
like to thank you for not being very funny, but showing up today.
But you know that I'm not very funny, so you brought this upon
I just
yourself.
thought you guys would be way funnier with this. I thought you guys would take the ball and just be like, oh, here's all the ridiculous things I would do. Instead, you're like, I would like the power of insight
No, I want to turn
because
mine.
I like insight.
I want to be a cult leader. I don't want to do religious goodness. I want to spread the word of goodness and save the world. I just want to be a cult leader. I want power.
well, there you go.
Fascinating.
Nothing wrong with
well, and that's why
Well,
you
it's
won't
gonna
be
come
picked by the
naturally
dog.
if you're going to be, if you're going to do that anyway.
I don't know.
So what would your cult leader
No,
name be?
no. I don't have a name for it. I don't need a name for it.
Ooh, a secretive cult.
Yeah.
Like the Swan
Something.
something. Yeah. I've had this discussion with people before, actually.
Those
What if you
secret
had the power?
conversations.
Yeah. No, I have. I mean, what powers of do you want? And of course, you get the religious fanatics like, no, there can only be one true God. I'm like, okay, I get that. And I remember I was working one night with one guy, and it's like that song came in, as you mentioned, what if God was one of us? And he goes, "That's so blasphemy." I said, "Why? Why is it blasphemy? Just because God wants to walk among us and wants to see us as we are. We want to see him as one of us. You know, we put, this entity on a higher shelf, and we think as he's on that, or she, or the dog is on that higher shelf, that it should be, we're incapable or infallible of understanding your way, right?
Oaxaca.
Exactly, right? And
Remember
what does
how
that
I
mean to
said
you?
that? Remember how I said we need a safe word when it gets too serious or boring? I've decided on the word. It's Oaxaca.
Oaxaca.
In that
Yeah.
tone.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had, I don't know, can we play the Pride Side chat?
There's
How are we
nobody
gonna do a
here.
Pride
There's
Side chat when there's
Tremonde's.
no one to answer that question.
It's Tremonde's Pride Side chat, and there's no
Yeah, but I
Tremonde.
actually had a question for him.
And
And
how is he going to answer it? You're just going to say your question and then be like,
Well, maybe one of you two could answer for Tremonde.
Then why would? No. Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know how the JJ works. By the way, big shout out to JD once again. Thank you.
Yeah, I was actually okay. I guess you can shout him out. That's fine. Are you going to shout out his actual podcast, or are you just going to say
The Monster's Lair. All right. Once again, interesting.
okay?
So
What an amazing shout
Another
out!
one of his man crushes.
What an amazing shout out from Ron.
Amazing shout out.
Amazing shout out. All right, well, I guess that's it.
Why is
I
that
thought
it?
it was going to be a lot funnier,
I feel like
but it really wasn't.
Learn nothing,
that's fine.
folks, but that's okay.
It's okay. I guess their minds don't think like mine. I was just trying to go off the rails, and they wanted to get all serious. And the Swan didn't even want to play. She just decided, I'm not. Fuck that. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking.
I said I wanted to be a cult leader, and you're like, no, it's not even like that.
I'm not taking the power.
No,
fuck
I
that.
wanted the power. I'd want to be a cult leader, and I said that, and you're like, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Because it's not.
Well, okay, well, that's what I would do with it.
Oh, that's why you're no fun, and nobody invites you to parties.
Probably not. I'm taking my toys and I'm going home.
So you can.
Just a little.
Is that why?
Exactly.
Yep. Well, anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ron, I hope you enjoyed your birthday.
You guys made it special. Thank you.
Sorry it was ruined.
It wasn't ruined.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Okay.
Okay.
I was,
okay.
When you were in the locker room going, look at the outfit I got you. I'm like,
I don't think I said
wow,
look at
that
the
was
outfit.
so special.
I don't think I said look at the outfit I got you.
Hey, whose birthday is it? Whose fantasy is
Whose
it?
lie is it?
I guess it is your
It is
fantasy,
his fantasy.
you fucking weirdo. Anyway.
Yeah. You got me an outfit to wear for your pleasure. You wanted me.
Oh God, it's getting creepy again.
Okay. All right.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, anyway, that's it for me, the Beeve Man, saying adios, mooch fuckos. Oh, I forgot to say it. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, a million other places, Buzzsprout, at the Slaptail Squad, at buzzsprout.com, Instagram, Facebook, all those places. Oh, and I also heard that you're not supposed to try to get people to play your podcast. That's how you get them to play your podcast, by not asking them to. What kind of shit is that?
From?
I don't know. There's all kinds of blogs and all kinds of other things out there trying to tell people how to get podcast listeners. And I'm like, you probably don't even have any, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and pay this amount of money for this.
Pay this amount of money so I can give you information. Yeah, you know what? I've never done that. I'm not going to do that. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I'm yelling at somebody who I don't even know who they are. Anyway, adios, mooch fuckos.
Bye from the Swan.
And from the wand.
I can't even talk. From the Wand.
From the wands, you wascally
Yeah,
wabbit.
the wand, you wascally wabbit, you. Stay sane, motherfuckers. It's crazy out there.
Yeah, I don't
Crazy
like
in
that.
here too.
I think that you should just stick with your new catchphrase.
I don't know how the JJ works.
That's how it should be done.
Okay. Thank you, guys.